going on YouTube? This is Just My Opinion, and today finally get to talk about and review J. Cole's new project, KOD. Last time I did a J. Cole project, it was the first ever and only perfect score on my channel, but I didn't give it a perfect score. My man did right here, Uzzy. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, thank you.
This is his 5th studio album now, and this is his 3rd project in a row where no promo, little to no promo, no features. I guess he decided to keep the formula the same.
It works.
If it's working, then might as well. And this project is another concept album. KOD has 3 different acronyms, either Kids on Drugs, King Overdose, and Kill Our Demons. Quick little intro, basically just a woman narrating. She kind of pops in and out of the project, basically just saying how many different ways to deal with pain, choose wisely. That's like the main theme. And then it goes straight into KOD, which I don't know how you feel about this one. This is kind of hard for J. Cole.
It is. Something completely different.
Exactly, because I think a lot of people really talk about how boring his, like, that's like their one gripe is like how boring his production is. But this is definitely, it has like a nice bounce to it and like catchy chorus. He's flexing a little bit, talking about how rappers ain't worthy of his features. So I thought it was definitely a nice opener to the album. And then it goes into Photograph, which is one of my favorites on the project. I like the beat. It was really nice. It had like a hypnotic feel to it with like the guitars in it. Basically like an Instagram creeper anthem right here. What he's talking about all throughout the song, like, isn't it kind of not true? Like, even though it's kind of sad, like how he's saying like love has gone digital, like
exactly. You know, you go on all you guys that are on dating websites. You know, it's for them.
Hey, I found my girl on there, so
it's no harm, bro.
You like basically fall in love with a chick now online. You don't even know anything about them. It's like nuts, and then like it's all DMing now. It's all like trying to figure out, oh, what should I say? And you know she's like, if it's a good-looking girl, and you know she's getting
a lot of DMs.
It's going down in her DMs. So it's sad, but it's the truth. Like basically everything that he depicted in the song, but I think he did it in a really interesting way. I think it's something that not too many people are talking about either right now. So the next song we have is The Cutoff, which actually I like the sentiment behind the song, basically trying to cut off people in your life that are kind of like detrimental to you. It also has a feature, first of 2, for Kill Edward, which, if you haven't figured out by now, is really just J. Cole.
It is J. Cole. He just, what do you call it? He changes tone.
Pitch shifting. Yeah.
I was actually, the day the album dropped, I didn't have it. I was working, and I was listening to XM radio, and the DJ's like, oh, J. Cole's album, he's got a feature with Kill Edward. And they were like all talking about it. They were all hyped. They fixed the pitch. They brought it up to like 10, level 10. And that was him.
Yeah.
And we were like, you know, they were surprised. I was surprised. I'm driving home,
too.
And I was like, wow.
I was first surprised to see that there was features on it at all.
Yep.
And it was just this one person on 2 songs. And then I come to find out, like, after.
It was him.
Yeah, it was him. I read it first, but then, like, listening, I was like, this sounds exactly like J. Cole too, but just like
why he played tricks with us.
So the next song was ATM. This is another standout track of mine on here. Another dope beat from him. Another simple, catchy chorus.
Count it up.
I feel like he's talking about it like he's rapping from like kind of like a money addict's perspective, because like you could think of ATM could mean like addicted to money. It's another demon. It's another vice that people use to kind of like try to eliminate their problems.
I love the song, but when I first heard it and I watched the video,
you thought Jay-Z.
I'm like, yo, Jay-Z could do that. Like, you know, I'm sure Jay-Z have done a couple of songs in the past like that too, where he just talks about money from the third. Like, you know, he's so rich that he could just be like, talk to you like, you know, you're nobody.
I think he did it in a little bit different way too, especially because on the hook he was saying like, can't take it when you die, but you can't live without it. Like, tell me that's not so true though.
It is. It's
like,
facts of life.
Yeah, like people really harp on like, I need money in order to be happy, to be successful, when you really don't. And you know, I think that's kind of the point he's trying to make, but doing it in a way that will kind of like catch people's ears. So the next song is Motivate, which I thought was one of the weaker tracks overall, just because I felt like it was basically like ATM, but just not as interesting.
I mean, I like the song in the terms of like, something that you could listen to it when you're having a bad day to kind
Hmm.
of motivate you to like turn it around in that
Okay.
sense, instead of just like, like a song like ATM, which kind of like, can hype you up.
Yeah.
Where this song was just like, okay, let's like, if you listen to the lyrics, it kind of gets you to get up out your ass and do something with your life. And that's what I think I got out of it.
So next we get the song Kevin's Heart, which is my personal favorite on the album. If you haven't seen the music video too, I strongly suggest it. It's Kevin's Heart, which is basically Kevin Hart. Obviously, he was in the news last year for his whole cheating scandal. So this song, of course, is all about the temptations of cheating and also the consequences of cheating. And I thought that the way that he did it and portrayed the whole story, I thought was like executed perfectly. Like coming from the man's perspective, because a lot of women too, like they know that they're tempting men, like, and I think that that's kind of what he was trying to say in the song. Like, she's planting a seed inside my head. Beating it, I thought was good. Had like nice beat with some dreamy synths in it, and his singing and rapping on it, I thought mixed well together too.
Do you think he had Kevin Hart in mind? I mean, he named it Kevin
He
Hart's,
definitely, I think he definitely had to have had him in mind because. Again, this is another vice, something that you have to choose wisely because you think of it in this day and age, something like this, especially with what Kevin Hart did, it was gonna be found out. Even like how he says in the song, like um, everything that's left in the dark eventually
comes to
comes to
shine.
shine. It's true though. Like you can't do anything without knowing like it's gonna come back to you in the end.
Don't do anything. Don't do anything in the dark.
Choose wisely. Next song we get is Brackets, which doesn't really fit into the theme too much of the project, but is a dope song basically talking about taxes. His whole last verse that he was talking about, like, it's so on point. You get all this money taken out on taxes, but where is it even going to? And you have no say in the matter where it's going.
You don't know where it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, we know where it goes, but like your pockets does get slim after you pay the government. And those of you that do pay the government, you know what I'm talking about. Because
No.
I pay the fucking government too. So
You have no say, like and he's saying like, oh, people are telling me, oh, you should go vote, but what's voting gonna do when I can't choose? Like, I can't choose the teachers, I can't choose the cops. Like, who gets those positions? And like, sometimes those positions are just as important as any political position. And it's something that not too many people will really talk about right now, too. I think it's another really important subject that not too many people are talking about. The only gripe I had against this song really is I think it was too long. I think like he could have cut out um, a little bit of the first half of it. The next song we get is Once an Addict, which is another standout song of mine on the album. And I think this is one of his more personal and deepest songs that he's really kind of made in his career, talking about how his mom used to struggle with addiction with alcohol and how it kind of had an effect on his life where he wouldn't feel comfortable coming home. He'd always stay out late because he knows that when he comes home, he has to deal with his mom being drunk. He thought that when he went away to college, it was going to solve his
better, yeah.
problems, but he's still getting calls from his mom. He's still getting bothered by his mom's addiction, kind of like a ripple effect. If you're an addict, you don't understand the effects that it could have on other people's lives.
I mean, I personally don't know anything about that in terms of like addiction, but listening to his pain definitely makes sense. And I was going through Instagram one day and I saw someone tweeted him saying that he cried after listening to the song because he felt that he like pretty much
It
everything
hit
has
home,
happened.
probably,
Yeah.
yeah.
I understand there's some people out there that have problems and they're going through it,
Hmm.
and listening to someone else's talking about it kind of helps you out a little bit because you're not the only one. There's other people dealing with this kind of stuff too. And this is what his like fifth album, studio album,
Yeah.
and he's
And
still
he's had plenty of mixtapes too.
mixtapes, and he's talking about that.
Yeah, like we've never heard about this before.
Yep.
Next song we get is Friends, which is the second of the Kill Edward feature. What J. Cole's talking about mostly on this track is why people decide to choose drugs, kind of basically doing a blame game, blaming it on, like past trauma in their life, blaming everything else instead of actually dealing with your problems. And J. Cole's basically trying to say, like, if you want to do that, that's whatever. I'm not going to tell you not to, but I'm just saying that there's definitely better ways to. Which then he goes to say, meditate, not medicate. I don't know about you. I've tried meditating before. I don't think that shit really works.
Takes time, bro. Takes
No,
time.
the only thing that happens is I pass out when I try to
there,
meditate.
there you go. That's a key.
I mean it's cool to sleep, but like you can't sleep your problems away either. That's just me. I'm not about the meditating, so like if you do that though, that's cool. There's definitely plenty of other ways to deal with.
Just cop another bag, bro, to smoke. That's it. Meditation does work. It works for so many people. I tried it. I do it sometimes, and definitely eases your mind. And
I guess just to clear it a little
yeah,
bit
just
at
to clear.
least.
I mean, all you need is a clear mind, and you know you're good to go. Power of your brain is the key. So call me DJ Khaled from now on.
So then the official outro, technically, for this album is Window Pane, which I thought was a really, really dope concept. J. Cole is all about, like, you know, trying to make a change, trying to make an impact and help somebody, you know, help his community and help, you know, people in general. So this song, like Window Pane, when you think of like a window, just kind of like an observer to the outside world. And I think that's kind of how he feels in this song, seeing all the stuff that he can't impact when he wants to. Like, there's still people in the Ville in North Carolina, like in gangs, which makes no sense to him. Still abusing drugs. He tells the story of a girl that he met. Her brother got like shot right in front of her, and she's only like 9 years old. But then the actual final song on this album is 1985, which he says is Intro to the Fall Off. You have a new album on the way too?
Should
Again,
be,
another
should
one?
be. I hope so.
J. Cole fans are gonna be out here, man. Like,
We're gonna be doing another review
I know
in a few
exactly,
months.
exactly. This is another song that really not too many people are touching upon, especially the way that he's doing it. He's kind of going after the the new wave mumble rappers, SoundCloud rappers, but he's doing it from the perspective almost as like the dad or the big brother trying to help out the little brother, you know, basically trying to say like, I like the fact that you guys are making money, that's cool, but there's so much more that you could be doing with your money, especially from what I'm seeing. Like, you could be buying a house instead of buying jewelry, buying cars that are not going to mean anything years from now.
I feel like that is also a song that like Jay-Z kind of had in his last album on the 444, where he talked about, you know, investing, buying
Story of OJ.
Yeah, story of OJ.
I love
like,
that
yeah.
song, and especially too because once the trend dies down, if you're riding trends, you're riding waves, then the wave is gonna come crashing down at some point. That money's gonna be gone.
What are you gonna do then, bro?
Exactly. That's why he's saying like be like him and find your lane, find your core fan base, something other than just the trends. Because, you know, for a while I feel like he was trying to do the same thing, which he even touched upon in this too. Like you said, hey, at 18 I was trying to just, you know, turn up too, like you kids now too. So, but he definitely has changed his career path completely. A lot of people were thinking, especially, that it was like a diss on Lil Pump, most specifically. I didn't really get that from it. I don't know if you got that from it.
You know, it kind of still, I just still get the resemblance of like Jay-Z. Pretty much the points that Jay-Z talked about in the past, and like just like repeating them in his sense, and just telling these little rappers, don't try to diss me, bro. I'm way beyond you. I'm way ahead of you, and you're just gonna be here for a couple of years and make your money and keep your mouth shut, while I'm here for a lifetime.
Sounds like we need to do a Jay-Z review
We need
soon.
to do a Jay-Z.
Alright, so in conclusion for me, I definitely think this was like the woke album of the year.
Hashtag stay woke.
And I think that everything that he was talking about throughout this project was definitely important. I liked a lot of the messages. And I think that it was important that someone like J. Cole was saying this type of stuff on a mainstream level while still breaking streaming records and doing crazy numbers in his first week again. I think just a couple of things that still kind of hold him back. I do think on some of the songs he could have maybe used a feature or two, at least as far as like singing wise or hook wise, just to kind of break it up a little bit and just add some new flavor to it. Some of the beats at times can be kind of boring, as people have pointed out in the past. I think that a lot of the beats though are definitely more lively, and I think it's improvements on all fronts for J. Cole. So I definitely think that this is going to be one of his best albums of his career, and definitely one of the albums from him that I will personally go back to and listen to the most.
I kind of, just to echo what he was saying, I agree with you pretty much with everything. It just as an artist, and I said that in the last review as well, is that as an artist, you have the label companies and you have people telling you do this, do that, but I feel like he has the freedom to do an album like this where you can hear
Yes.
it anywhere else. Like you say, like he kind of grew on you,
Yeah.
but I've been a fan since like the day one,
Yeah.
and I was kept always pushing me every time we're in my car. I would put
Yeah.
J. Cole on.
Yeah, and it's not like I never disliked him either. I just think that he had so much more potential,
Potential, yeah.
and I think his potential finally showed on all fronts on this album.
Everything happens like step by step,
Yeah.
and as an artist, same thing. Like you can't just out like imagine if that was his first album, it would have been a
Oh my
flop.
God, yeah.
But as he has a fan base and he has true fan base like me, you,
And his millions of fans out
millions.
there that go crazy when he puts out something.
Like I say, it's always comes down to the freedom of an artist to express how he's feeling at that moment, and I think the album came out great.
I know the last project I rated it as 7 out of 10. If I were to go back, I would actually maybe rate that a little lower than what I actually did with this one. I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10. And now for you, you rated his last album a 10, so I'm not sure what you're going to be giving this one.
For you guys that still complain about how I gave him a 10 out of 10 last album, just listen to the album and then talk to me. Other than that, do not bring it up. But for this one, I'm gonna give it 8.9.
All
Let's keep
right,
it going.
so that was the review. That's Uzzy. Thank you for doing
Thank
the
you.
review with me again. This is just my opinion, and thank you for watching YouTube.
Salute.